Hello everyone, this is Teacher Eddie and welcome to another class here again. Today, here we are starting a mini series of episodes about articles. What are those in English? Articles are those small, tiny words which we are usually using in front or at the beginning of the noun phrases. How important are the articles? Even if you don't know the exact usage of the articles, you may still be understood, and it is not a crucial mistake if you misuse articles. But if you want to speak correctly, if you want to write correctly, I advise you to keep watching and find out basic rules and usage about the articles. Yeah? There are two of them in English, definite article the and indefinite article am or n. We will discuss both of them together more thoroughly through the class. So here we are. As I just have mentioned, we have those two articles, the and articles am or n. Okay, just a quick reminder how to know which to use, am or n. So, if we are having a word starting with a consonant sound, we are using article am, and we are using article n if we're having a noun or a noun phrase starting with a vowel sound. Yeah? As for example. And what are the vowel sounds? Okay, just a quick reminder about that. Vowel sounds are all the sounds which we can pronounce without touching our lips together. As for example, a, e, o, and u. Okay? Let's look at some examples. So here we have an elephant and an iron. We are using, let's look at it closer. We are using articles n because those nouns are starting with the vowel sounds e for elephant and I for iron. Okay, and let's look at some examples at the nouns starting with the consonant sound. Here we have a dog, a park, a bag. Yeah? Again, let's have a little closer look. All the words here, as you can notice, are starting with the consonants D, P, and B in this case. Therefore, we are using article a. Okay? This is the basic rule, and next we are going to discuss another two basic rules how to not to get confused about using article the or a. The first one rule says, if you can say, you know which I mean, if you know that your listener or your reader knows exactly what you mean, you are using article the. We are talking about something very specific. As for example, let's look at this example. I go shopping to the mall. Yeah, we are using article the in front of the mall. That means we are having in mind a very specific mall. Or in the next one, did you see the cats? We have noun, plural noun, cats, and when we are using article the, that means again that we know that our listener knows which cats we mean. And the last one example says, may I borrow the pen? The pen. It suggests that again, I have very specific pen in my mind, and if I ask, may I borrow the pen, that means that one, that red one, or that blue one, the very specific one. Okay? So this is the main rule about using the article the. Second rule out of two basic rules is actually the opposite one. In this situation, we cannot say, you know which I mean. When our listener cannot tell what do we mean exactly, which thing or person we mean, we are using article am or n, again accordingly. Let's think about some examples. Example sentences using these articles. Okay, while I am preparing mine, think about your own examples and do not hesitate to share in the comments under this video. Okay? So here is mine. Let's look at it. There is a fly in my room. Here I am using article am for the noun fly. That means there is some fly in my room. I am not pointing to a specific one. Or the next one, I need to buy a pen, or I need to buy a notebook. That means I just need some pen and I just need some notebook. I do not have anything particular in my mind. And the last one example, she bought a bag. I just know that she bought some bag. I don't really know which one exactly. I cannot tell which she means exactly. Yeah? So those are two basic rules. Let's look at it once again. And yeah, just memorize and try to practice. Try to think about your own examples. And once again, do not hesitate to share it in order to practice and correct each other. Okay? Let's move on. And now we are going to discuss the case when we are using no article. Do you know the situation when we are using no article? If we are having plural or uncountable noun in a sentence, we are using no article. As for example, she loves cookies. There is no article because we have cookies. This is plural noun. Yeah, exactly. This is plural noun. And in the next example says he drinks water. Yeah, again, no article in a sentence because water is uncountable noun. We cannot count 1 water, 2 water, 3 waters. It is uncountable. And if it is uncountable, once again, rule says no article in front of such a noun. The last one, I need help. What about this one? Help is the same as the water. We are not counting it, so we are using no articles. Now let's look at the 4 common mistakes to avoid. Let's look at it. Memorize it and really avoid those mistakes. First of all says, don't use a or n with plural or uncountable nouns. This is basically what we have just discussed. Yeah, do not use a or n. If we have once again plural noun and as in this sentence, she loves parks. Yeah, not one park, parks. So we are not saying she loves a parks. We just say she loves parks. Next example, this flower needs water. Again, we do not say this flower needs a water because water, as mentioned before, is an uncountable noun. Okay, what about the next one? Mistake to avoid. Don't use the to talk about things in general. And the doesn't mean all. Yeah? For example, elephants can swim very well. Yeah? Elephants can swim very well. Elephants, we mean something in general. We mean elephants in general. Therefore, we are not saying the elephants. Or another example, gas is expensive. We don't say the gas is expensive because gas is just a general thing to mention. Okay? Number 3 says don't use articles together with determiners such as my, this, that, and all the others you can think of. Okay, try to think about some others. As for example, in this small expression, my work, we are not saying at my work or my friend. Again, my friend is correct. We are not saying the my friend. Yeah? Why so? Because in front of the noun, we are using a determiner. Determiner my. It can be my, it can be like my work, it can be also this work. As for example, this idea. Yeah, this is another determiner which says that we need no other article. So this idea is the correct expression. Okay, and the last one, 4th common mistakes to avoid. Let's look at it. I really recommend to look at it carefully. In my opinion, this is the most common. It says don't use singular countable nouns alone without an article or other determiner. Once again, because this is really the most important one. Okay, so don't use singular countable nouns alone without an article or other determiner. Don't skip that, okay? To make it clearer, again, let's look at the examples. So, we can say a cat, the cat, any cat, or this cat. You can think about many more examples, okay? Those are all correct expressions. We are using the same singular countable noun cat. Yeah, if we mean like any cat, we are using article a. If we mean particular one, we are using article the. And at the same time, you can use any determiner, any cat, my cat, our cat. Yeah, but never ever we say just cat. This is incorrect. Let's look at the last 3 small examples. Yeah, here we have. This is a cat, this is cat, and this is my cat. all of the sentences have one and the same singular countable noun cat. In the first sentence, we are saying a cat when we are meaning any cat. In the last sentence, we say, this is my cat, in case I wanted to talk about my cat, a determiner my. But what about the middle one sentence? This is cat. And this is incorrect. We cannot say just like this is cat. We must use either article or a determiner. Keep this in mind and please avoid this mistake as much as you can. Okay, let's look once again at all the 4 common mistakes to avoid. Okay, let's look at it once again. Try to memorize, as always. Try to think about your own examples, your own practice. And in the end of this class, I will give you a little brief summary of all this whiteboard work for you to review. Okay? So this is all for today. A little review on the basic rules about using articles the and am or n. Okay? As always, I encourage you to think about your own examples. Think about any type of the sentences, positive sentences, negative sentences, questions, and try to think about it in your head. Try to write it down even maybe and check if you are using your articles correctly. If you still have questions, you can look back at our class today, remember the basic rules and check it again. You can share your practice by sharing your sentences, leaving them in the comments that others can see, correct you, or you can also check other students. So keep practicing, keep growing, and see you in the episode 2. Bye bye!